What's up, you wonderful martial artists? This is my How to Spare Fajar guide. I really struggled with some of these bosses to be able to get to the place where I could break their structure and not, like, get rid of all of their health. So I wanted to make some guides that really helped to spare bosses. So here's my one on Fajar. It's part of my No Death, No Sweat, No Cheese Sifu in-depth boss guide for Fajar, which you can check out. I'll put a link in the info on this video. I hope you enjoy. I wanted to include in these guides not just how to beat the boss, but how to spare them too. The only way to like truly beat the game, or maybe you would say to get the best ending, is to spare every single boss. And it takes some doing. It's harder. You have to live longer, but you also have to break their structure twice. So yeah, let's talk about the ways in which you can get to the place where you spare the bosses and therefore really beat the game. So in order to spare a boss, you have to break their structure twice without knocking them out. So that first bar has to fill up and break twice without the lower bar there going all the way down. When you break their structure the first time, make sure not to press triangle and circle. Don't take them down. Just let them recover like I do there. And then the second time you take them down, you'll see this option at the bottom to spare them, which is left on the D-pad. Now, one strategy for helping with this, particularly with Fajar, is just using a lot of light attack combos, particularly with the bamboo. I found that that did not a lot of damage, but managed to help break his structure a little faster. So I just use square. I very rarely press triangle, and sometimes that helped a lot. So light combos with square is the first strategy for helping to break Fajar's structure. There are two other ways to help work towards breaking the structure of really any boss. This is really the best strategy regardless of boss, and that's deflecting and parrying. And we're going to look at the same video in super slow-mo 3 times to outline the difference between the two and how to do them. So parrying, I know it's a little confusing, is pressing L1 on attacks right when they land, and some attacks just aren't perfect parryable, which they call deflecting in this game. But I deflected that knife swipe. So the first phase of this combo from Fajar is a little double kick, and I just press L1 when both of those happen, and then L1 right as that knife swipe lands, and that's a perfect parry or deflection. So these are parries. I just hit L1 right there, and then right there. And you can see the structure bar at the top light up when I do that, even though they're not perfect parries. And then that's a perfect parry or deflection when that knife swipe comes in. And all of that helps with structure. All you're doing is pressing L1 as soon as an attack comes in, but for some reason, some attacks, typically ones with wind up, are actually deflectable or perfect pairing. So this is just pressing L1 when an attack comes in. So L1 on that one, structure breaks down. L1 on that one, their structure breaks down a little more. And then L1 here, their structure takes a much bigger impact from a perfect parry or deflection. So I hope that makes sense and helps. That's really the best way, regardless of boss, to help break their structure. So what I'm going to do now is show you a full video of a phase 2 sequence with Fajar where I break his structure using some of these strategies. So you can see you got the jump on me there a little to begin with. Whoopsies. But here goes. We're going to start by getting a weapon, and we're going to do those light attacks. So these are all just square attacks. And I'm not really doing a great job with rhythm here. I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be on the offensive to move quick because I really know his patterns well, but also to help impact structure. Because the other thing with structure, I'm not sure if it's with Fajar, but most bosses, if you run away or give them time, their structure will very slowly build back up, or that bar will go down. So I'm just blocking there, and when I can, I'm pressing L1 to parry those attacks. But mostly in this video that you're watching, it's all just relying on light attacks to break his parry. You can see that's quite a bit of life left for a sequence of trying to break his structure. And I really like using a weapon. The other thing about using a weapon too is it really helps because you're doing all this blocking, so it's going to actually prevent your structure from building too fast. But again, my main strategy here is really using light attacks as a form. There was a perfect parry, and that pretty much did the job. You can see left shows up, and boom, he's spared. It's the humane thing to do when you really think about it. And then you get this sequence where clearly he's feeling a lot of guilt and shame. Oh, Fajar, you'll be all right, buddy. Earn this, Fajar. Earn this. That is it, y'all. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it, and keep the lookout for other boss guides. And just remember, as soon as I start making a single dime from my YouTube videos, 50% of what I make will go to a charity that we choose as a subscriber community. So all the more reason to spread the word, like, and subscribe.